Thank you so much for joining twitch.tv/thegamelooters or youtube.com/thegamelooters. If you guys could, it would truly help me out for our community, what we're trying to build over here. If you would hit the follow button, that little heart to the top right, I'd definitely appreciate it if you would hit the follow button for us. Even if even if you're not an avid Twitch user, but you're just stopping by, just checking in, definitely hit follow. It'll still help us out. Also, too, nobody likes notifications. We would appreciate it if you kept them on, so you can be notified when we do go live. We just stream a ton of variety of games, so we would appreciate it. But if not, if you don't want to be bombarded with that, you're like, Dom, I'm willing to follow, but I don't want to push the button. But that's cool too. Just go ahead and hit the follow button. Keep us in mind, for those nights right before you're about to go to bed or something like that. Throw us on the tube. We definitely appreciate it. Any followers or community members, we would totally love to play with you guys too. So make sure to hit us up. But go ahead and throw us a follow there. And if you're on youtube.com/thegamelooters, if you guys could please hit subscribe, we would definitely appreciate that. Just keep us in mind for all kinds of great gaming content, news, let's plays, reviews, and tons more. So if you guys love video games, you guys are in the right spot, and we're right here at the Game Looters. You guys are home with us over here. So tonight we're playing Need for Speed Payback, EA's attempt at another Need for Speed racing game at a time to where we maybe didn't need a racing game. This game last year kind of got buried in between a lot of better racers. Project Cars 2 came out, Gran Turismo Sport came out, Forza Motorsport 7 came out, and then you had Need for Speed Payback right in the mix with that. Also, too, it came out during a very crowded time, same time like Assassin's Creed, Mario. So, it was a time that this game just got totally pummeled. And the other piece of it didn't do well, critically or publicly or casually. It did not do well at all. It did not sell well. It did not review well. And for a game that looked very promising at E3, me and Game Looter Cynthia went and we checked it out. We talked to the guys over at EA and Criterion that were making the games. I think we talked to the lead, I want to say he was the lead designer, maybe project manager or something, but he was one of the main spokespeople that you would see on different interviews through the bigger gaming platforms. And we got to talk to them for a little bit, a few times at E3. And we honestly asked them, what's the vision for the game? What do you guys see based on what you guys did the last go around with the Need for Speed reboot? What are you guys doing this time? And they basically said, they're going for that Fast and Furious vibe. The game has a lot of different story elements with it, but a lot of fun racing in between. They basically sold us on the game, and then they had a no. And they also had a little piece for us there as well that we could try out. It was like the main piece of the game, which was that semi scene that you may have seen several times, several preview events, trailers right before, I think even when the game released. It was like the main scene that they had. They had that little tidbit for us there, and it was truly, I had a great time with it. I thought it was like, man, they're doing something really cool this time. So long story short, when the game came out, and it came out to disappointing reviews, basically got 5s, 6s, and 4s, and some other scores. People did not like it. It did not do well critically at all. So, like I was telling you guys earlier in this stream, when it came down for us over here at the Game Looters during that time, if this was going to be a game that we played, knowing already what our friends over around the industry were already saying about the game as far as it not being worth your time, and the structure of the game and what it did for the Need for Speed series just not being up to snuff, other games came as priority over Need for Speed Payback. So unfortunately, we haven't never been able to give it a shot. So now we are over here in 2018, right? We are, call it 6 months removed from this game coming out, and we're like, hey, I think it might be time to give Need for Speed Payback a shot. We're in this weird time bubbled right before God of War and some other bigger titles come out, that there's some time to play some games. Although we do have games right now like Sea of Thieves, Far Cry 5, this is definitely a game that we can fit in the mix. So we're like, this is the time that we think it's time to buy the game. Now, the other thing is this game went on sale on the PlayStation Network, and I purchased it, I think $20, $30, and at that price point, we're here tonight to see if is it worth it for you guys to spend that $20-$30. You know, 20 bucks I think is probably the lowest it's gonna go. So is it worth that? Is it worth your time, period? So we're gonna find out tonight by playing Need for Speed Payback. And a little backstory for me is I completely love racers. I love racing games. I have for a very long time. They've been one of my favorite series. Need for Speed I have a great love for. I remember playing the original Need for Speed on the Sega Saturn many moons ago, and I was addicted to that game. When Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed came out on the PC, I had it on the PC. When it came out on the PlayStation 1, I had it on the PlayStation 1. I mean, I played that over and over and over. And then up to about Most Wanted, and then the Underground series. Underground series and Most Wanted I have a great love for and a great affinity for. I play those games on end. I think after that the series kind of fell away, and then the most recent little caliber on the side. And then the most recent reboot in, call it 2013, I think, maybe 2015. I want to say 2015. The most recent reboot, although it wasn't the best game, I say it was like a solid 7. It was Need for Speed, more along the lines with what I kind of wanted from the series, but they did a lot of things I didn't want either, right? Like the always online piece, story elements kind of being pretty weak, things like that. But from a Need for Speed fun, does it feel good? I thought it was pretty fun. Not that it has anything to do with anything, but check out my Detective Pikachu. Pikachu is coming for you. This is the fucking biggest amiibo I have ever seen. I love you, Detective Pikachu. Alright guys, so now they shut the fuck up. So, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here just to kind of give you my initial impressions. My first, call it 25, 30 minutes of the game, impressions of the game. So here's what I think about Need for Speed Payback so far. We picked it up for $30. We haven't touched it in about a month. It got released about 6 months ago. In comparison so far to other racers such as the Forza series, Gran Turismo, yada yada yada, and just like the most recent remaster, Burnout, is it worth 30 bucks? My first initial half hour? No. What I can tell you is the controls are really clunky, which isn't cool for a racer. It should feel good. Each car does feel slightly different, but what none of them done well so far is brake one. It doesn't feel good at all. It doesn't feel like simulation. It doesn't feel like arcadey. Just the controls overall don't feel good. Okay, that's my initial impressions. Other piece of it is they're trying to be very much like Fast and Furious. There's a lot of side banter while you're racing. They're saying different things to you, which are just very generic. And I think they're trying to story build or build out the story, fledge out the story. So far, not doing a good job of it. This right here, what happened right now, is my biggest pet peeve. It made me drive, call it an in-game mile or two, to go home after my shift in my job in the game. And then as soon as I get home, it plays some little sound clip and then immediately puts me back in daytime now versus nighttime. And it says, go somewhere else again now. Go find a new race somewhere. So, one of my biggest pet peeves in some racing games, it's very, it's hard to call anybody's work that they did for a very long time lazy, but it's just, it's not the best move. It's not the best move in terms of what they're trying to accomplish here. So, again, we're starting to see signs of why it may have been rated around a 5 or 6, kind of where it landed. Let's play a little bit more so we can find out, though. But controls, no bueno, guys, no bueno. Is this game worth it all? Short answer, guys. What I'm going to leave you guys with tonight is no, the game is not worth it. But here's what I will leave you guys with is a little bit of my perspective, okay? So my thing is if you're a big racing game fan, like your games, like your wheelhouse is Forza, Gran Turismo, Need for Speed series, Project Cars. If you're a big racing fan, now maybe you play a ton of other games, but you love the racing genre, this might be a game that you want to check out. Just because right now we're in this weird lull of games. And trust me, there's a lot to play right now, but the games that are out aren't for everybody. Sea of Thieves, Far Cry, Monster Hunter. They're very specific. It has a very specific audience, and it doesn't speak to everybody. Okay, so we're in a little bit of a lull for a lot of different people, right? So if this is a game that spoke to you in any way, shape, or form in the past, and you thought, man, I think I need to give Need for Speed Payback a chance, but the reviews suck. I haven't heard good things. I was looking forward to it, and like I forgot that it even came out. I wasn't even aware of it. Yada yada yada, etc. 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 This might be a good spot for you to go ahead and jump in right here in this time of year in 2018. Give it a chance, 20-30 bucks, right? Okay. Flip side of it is my honest opinion so far in the first couple hours of the game. The controls aren't the best. They are a little bit clunky, and the last thing you want a racer to be is clunky. You don't want a racer to be clunky. You want it to feel good, whether it's going for simulation or going for arcade. You want it to feel good. You want the controls to be different for every vehicle. You want it to feel slightly different for every vehicle. Sound design perspective, you want it to sound like each vehicle, like you know that they will sound. And then you want to have the control. I switched from a Bugatti to an R34 to a BMW, and those vehicles, they felt very samey. The only one that was way out there was the FRS. That one definitely felt like it was meant for drift, so it was basically just sliding everywhere. That was the only one that felt totally different, but the controls overall, like you can get a grasp on them, but they don't feel quite good. They don't feel like simulation, they don't feel like arcade done perfect, they don't feel like your Burnout, like your most recent Burnout HD remaster that came out. They don't feel good like that. So that's my big gripe. The other piece of it is from the story. So story, and then I'll go with sound. Well, let's talk about sound first. Sound-wise, the cars don't sound like they should. Soundtracks are kind of questionable. There's a couple of tracks in there that, okay, I was like, okay. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the soundtrack. I like the way it sounds so far. I think that from a sound design perspective, what they were trying to go for, they're kind of missing the ball there. From the soundtracks that they do have there are a couple that are good. A lot of them, they just don't fit the theme of the race, so that's kind of sad. The cars, I don't say that they're completely accurate from a sound design perspective, which from a racer, I don't know, maybe I'm spoiled by Forza, but I'm kind of coming to expect. Like I just picked up a Subaru, and then I had an S2000. Now granted, they don't sound like exactly the same, but they sound similar enough. When I get in the S2000, I'm looking for VTEC to kick in, right? Like I'm looking to like really put my mic and be like, or not my mic, really put my headphones in and be like, okay, I can hear the VTEC kicking in. Subaru, I'm looking for that raspiness because of the engine type that it has. So this is something that Forza and a lot of the project cars, Gran Turismo, they're simulations. So I'm mostly looking at Forza Horizon. This is something that they've gotten like completely and absolutely right. With Need for Speed at EA Criterion, unfortunately, I think they missed the mark on that. Okay. Last piece is gameplay and story elements, right? So, it was story design. Gameplay we touched on at the beginning doesn't feel that great. Story design, they're going for that Fast and the Furious story design. They're basically building out a crew, a very, honestly, ethnic crew is kind of what they're going for. They're going for that Fast and Furious type of feel, to where you have people from all over, right, that are racers, basically from all over the world, so that there's a lot of diversity there. It's cool that they're going for that. It's just too similar to the Fast and Furious series, basically just pulling the story elements all from there, and I don't like it at all. You make a deal with an officer, and he basically sends you on like a mission, blah blah blah. You're basically like a Paul Walker type character. So the story is very generic, very bland. You're talking to yourself in a third person during the whole entire time. So that's not fun. He says like the same things over. We gotta get this race. We gotta get this race. And at first I didn't even know, like, is that my character? Yeah, sure is. And what they say isn't that great. So I mean, please go back. Go back and watch the stream later. Twitch.tv/gamers, YouTube.com/gamers. Watch back some of this stuff. I could probably do the commentary better. So EA, I mean, hire me to do the commentary. At least it'll be like funny, right? And not in a funny like, oh, that's so bad acting. It's funny, but funny like truly, right? So story elements are just kind of missing there. It's basically go do this, go do that, go do this. So fetch. And then the world, I haven't even been able to explore the world yet because it's basically one race to another. I guess I can explore the world in between if I really want to, but you're just kind of on to the next thing. And it limits you basically. You basically feel like you're in a track, but you're in a bigger world. It's kind of silly. And I know that I'm in Las Vegas now, but I really didn't uncover that till like the last half hour or so, because they don't even cover like where you are, what the purpose of you being there, nothing, right? You're just some guy who can race, who needs money and has a hard time, and he's trying to now get a crew together to take down some baddies, right? Overall, I would say if you're not in the racing genre and that's not your wheelhouse, skip this game entirely.